Here it tells you that McMaster University provides support in the form of teaching assistantships plus a program scholarship to all qualified full-time graduate students, which is great, right?
Hello and welcome to the Hive. Welcome, family. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to be talking about how to find universities online, choosing the right universities, and finding universities that can get you a scholarship, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And I want to be able to empower you so that you can look for these schools yourselves. Know that you do not need an agent to be able to do this, right? It just takes a little bit of the time, but you're doing this for you. So you should be able to have the time to do that for yourself.
So let's get right into it. So first off, we're going to start with Google. Google is a big search engine. When you go to Google, you just type in list of universities in Canada. I have this typed in already, so I'm just gonna put enter, and I am going to start with Canada because, as you all know, I am in Canada. So let's do that here, and this gives you a once you have different websites that come up. You can start with the list of universities in Canada using Wikipedia, right? So you can do that, and then this gives you an idea of the location and the maps of the provinces in Canada. So you can first of all see, okay, where do I want to go to? Because you have to consider the weather as well. Some places are colder than the other. But hey, you can make sacrifices and study wherever you want, right? So we have this here, and then you can read a little bit about these universities. This is a good write-up here where you can also be putting down some points as you're looking. As usual, have your book there, name it list of my future universities, list of universities that I want to attend, and be writing down stuff. So let's say you start by province. In Canada, we do have provinces. So in Alberta, you're going to look at the universities, see what they offer, see what program that you want to go to, right? So I am going to start with Ontario and start with the university that I went to, right? So let's see here. Once we click on university colleges, it comes up with all the list of the universities and colleges, right? It tells you, so these are university colleges. It tells you the year. So one thing you want to know about Canada is that if after school you want to be able to stay later and get a work permit, you have to make sure that the university you are choosing is on the designated learning institutions list. If you haven't seen, if you don't know anything about that, I have a video. I will put the link up there, and you can go and watch and learn all about the designated list as well and get informed. So McMaster University here. So they don't have a link. I am just going to select it like this and right click and go search Google for McMaster University. So it will come up here, and I will click McMaster University, and there you go. You have their website here, and what you want to look at is the graduates section. If you already have a bachelor's degree, if you're looking for undergraduates, you can look at those, but for this video we are going to cover the graduate section. So where the graduate section, you have that here, and then you can scroll down and look at the you go to the programs, right? Because you want to search by program. So if you have a bachelor's in science, great, you can continue your master's. You either do a master's or PhD in science. Now, bear in mind, not all programs will admit you directly into a PhD program. They will want you to start with a master's first. Some will admit you directly into a PhD, so you have to take note of that as well. So the program I did, let's start with the program I did was in science, in physics. Let's see where is it? Is it gonna come up there? She is. Radiation sciences and medical physics and radiation biology. So once I click on that, it takes me to this site, and you can decide, you can open it and see what the master's entails, and then you scroll down and see what the PhD entails and decide which one you would want to do. The other thing you have to take note of as well is if they offer funding and the application details, the application deadlines, because sometimes they do have different deadlines for international students and different deadlines for domestic students, right? So I did a master's, so let's go down here. Once you've gone through and you're ready to apply, you click this and it will open the portal for you where you can start your application process. But make sure that you read the admission list and have everything that they need ready, so once you start the application you are ready to go. So we will go to the view programs, which will take us to the actual. So now you come to the program website and it gives you all the information there, right? So you can read up, and what you want to look at is the programs. They do have different programs here which tells you, and then you can look at the either MSc in health and radiation physics, MSc in radiation sciences, so that you can look through and it gives you that, and you make your points and decide what you want to do, right? After you've looked at your program, you can look at the coursework. So here they have the coursework, so you can see what courses you will be getting into, right? You can also look at the research and see the people here will show you. So research here will show you the research that is going on in that particular department. The people takes you where you can find supervisors that you can email and ask about their research programs, right? We'll go back to the home page of the program website, and so let's click on apply and see. So right, apply gives us the information we need, right? The application deadline, which is very important, right? And then also it tells you that how do you find a supervisor. This tells you that you do not need a supervisor, right? And then it gives you the general admission right there. It also gives you the grades, right? Right here you can see it says you need at least a B average in the final year, and it also tells you whether, because sometimes you can move from another program into a master's degree, so you would know whether you can move from a non-science into a science master's degree. It will tell you right there. It says the total time required to move from bachelor's to PhD is usually 4 to 6 years, right? And the minimum requirement for admission to MSc programs in the health and radiation physics is an honors BSc degree in physics or engineering or a related discipline with at least a B plus average in the final year, right? So now once you know what the school is looking for, you are going to come and look at the tuition, which is the most important. You find out how much the tuition is and if they have any funding. Here it tells you that McMaster University provides support in the form of teaching assistantships plus a program scholarship to all qualified full-time graduate students, which is great, right? That's exactly what I got. And they also enroll you in other scholarships if you do qualify. And this tells you how much support you'll get. It tells you that this was for the 2020 year. You can get up to 11,340 for 260 hours of work. So as a teaching assistant, you will be the teaching assistant in one of the undergraduate courses that you will be assigned to, right? And so for the total income will be 24,000 plus incidental fees for Canadian and landed immigrants, right? And then the tuition fees for foreign students were 17,000. So this right here, technically, you are being paid to come and study, right? So this is a great thing. So now you know about the tuition, you know this is a great program. So then you can start your application process. You can look into the research, what you're doing, and start writing your essay and putting together all the necessary documents that you need, right? So then we are going to go back. So let's see, university colleges in, this was in Ontario. So we can click back here. Let's look at Alberta. So university colleges in Alberta, and we do have here the University of Alberta. So I'm just gonna right click on that and open that in a new tab, and it brings me here. Right here we have the university's website, so I am going to click on that and it takes me right to the university's website, right? So then as usual, you go to the programs, admissions and programs, and go to, there's programs right there. You can check the deadlines and the tuition costs, right? So you can go programs as well, and you can look alphabetical order tuition application for admission. So that is how you search for the programs. Now once we move into the US side is really interesting. So once you come here, you go list of universities in USA. So you get a whole different list here. So you can go into Wikipedia again and look. So you can search by states. Again, you want to be looking at the states because you need to know where you're going, the environments, where, how the environment is, and if you'll be able to be comfortable in the climate that you are choosing, which is really important, right? So this has grouped it down here for you, so you can come. If it's Northwest, it has Connecticut. You can select Connecticut and it gives you the list of all the universities in Connecticut, right? So now we're going to go back. So when we come here, we can look at the list of universities in Michigan, right? It gives you the whole list. You have different lists that come up as well, but I'd like you to click right here. That shows you what you want to be looking at is the acceptance rate, right? And also the funding. In Canada, it is grouped separately. You see that they didn't break it down as much as it has been broken down for USA. So that is why I did that video earlier, to use the Education USA system, because in the books it's broken down like this and you can find things easily, but here also we can find it like this online, and it's already broken down for you as well over here, so you can use either location and it will sort it out for you that way, or even based on the tuition or acceptance rate. You're more concerned about the acceptance rate, right? Because if you go to select a university that only accepts 26% of its application, and you are not a very strong applicant, then you are not going to be able to gain admission, right? So these acceptance rates are very important for you to take note of, right? So there you go. You can look at the universities here, and you can see the different acceptance rates and the graduation rates as well, because not everybody that starts finishes, right? So but the most important thing is the acceptance rate, because you want to get into the university and hopefully you will finish your course, right? So then I'm looking for a university here. So let's see, the average cost of tuition after 8 is 20,000. Acceptance rate for Western Michigan University is 85%. So let's take a look. Select that and right click and search Google, right? So it will come up there. This is the university's website right there. So we are going to click on it and open it up, and we can see here we go right to the academics, and you can take a look at the programs. There you have undergraduate programs and graduate programs. Again, I will be focusing on the graduate programs, and there you have it, right? So you can look based on what bachelor's degree that you have. What do you want to do as a master's or further your education in? They have different ones. So again, if I look at either physics, they've got an MA and PhD. So if I wanted to do a master's program, I will I will click on the master's requirement, and it will give me all the information, right? Information, and then I can come right here to the admissions, and it will tell me some of the schools require either GRE, or, and if you are not from an English speaking school, then you would have to write an English language test, right? Mostly sciences, you have to write the GRE. For in USA, like in McMaster and some Canadian universities, they didn't require that. So that is one thing to note if you have to do that as well, right? So this says, what does this says? Are required to take the graduate record exam general test, and then preference in admission given to students who have taken and earned a good score on the GRE physics test as well, right? So that's that there, and then you can go on to let's see here, cost and financial aid, and see what financial aid they have. So you can look at the tuition there. Here you can look international student fee. It tells you there, right, what the fee is. So let's go back here. No, cost and student financial assistance, right? So it tells us what kinds of assistantships they have. They do have fellowships, scholarships, assistantships, grants, and awards, right? So then you can look further to see the application deadlines for the funding, and make sure that you submit your application by that deadline, okay? So let's try and look at a non-science program here. So we can look at the applied economics. Go here and we go into academics, right? And then they have the Masters of Arts in Applied Economics or Accelerator. So if we go in Masters of Applied Economics here, it gives us the requirements as well and the admission um, information as well, right? So you have to have a strong foundation in economics. So you see this course here does not require GRE, like, but when we looked at the physics one, they did require that. And then a limited number of assistantships and scholarships are available on a competitive basis for full-time students, right? So you can, so then you know, then now you know the deadlines. You're going to write this down in your book, and then you can start your application process.
That's it, guys. Let me know, ask your questions in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer them for you. And also just take the time. So this searching for the schools is the first hurdle to overcome, but once you are able to do that, the rest of the process becomes easier, because then now you have everything moving on smoothly for you. You write it down in your book, then you can start the application process. You did need to find the time to do some of the work. If you do not want to do the work, then you need an agent. But why do you really need one when everything is at your fingertips right here for you? And I have taken the time to show you the steps in doing so as well, right, guys? So until we meet in the next one, be sure, if you missed my video on how to find schools and scholarships using the Education USA process, make sure you check the first video on top there and check my other videos as well. Until we meet in the next one, stay blessed, and I will see you soon.